Hey. So it's for very good afternoon to all of you and welcome to today's discussion on one of the important proposals made in the Finance Bill 2022, that is on TDS on benefits and perquisite under section 194R. Give me a couple of minutes more. I think let's wait for a few more participants to join and then we'll start the session. It's 4:01 in my watch. And exactly at 4:03 we will start. I would request everyone to please put their mic on a mute mode. We will be starting in a minute.
गौरव भाई राम राम।
नमस्कार,
कैसे हैं आप?
ऑल वेल सर।
बढ़िया। समाज सेवा करते रहिए, प्रोफेशन में लगे रहिए, लेकिन ऐसा काम मत कोई होने दीजिए, करिए जो आजकल हो रहा है कि सीएजी हम उसका करते हैं, सीएजी हमारे इसमें लगे।
सर आई थिंक अभी ना एकेडमिक डिस्कशन कर लेते हैं फॉर दैट।
ना जस्ट टू स्टार्ट, जब तक तो आप शुरू कर रहे थे इसलिए मैंने वो बोल दिया, नॉट अदरवाइज।
Thank you, sir. Friends, it's 4:03. Let me start this session. As I call it, I am your host and host, CA Gaurav here. So today we are meeting to discuss section 194R. I was working on one opinion and I felt 194R is extremely important and it could have a lot of repercussions. Specifically, we generally say in FMCG companies or insurance companies, but I felt there could be repercussions even in the group companies which are not into FMCG or insurance sector. So I will share a few of my findings with you and what is my view on 194R. This session is coming live on YouTube channel and it would remain there. So if any one of you wish to see some part of it or the entire video, you can visit my YouTube channel and there this video would be available. Okay, so let me start with my slide, my view on 194R.
Good afternoon.
So good afternoon to everyone. I would request everyone to please put your mic on a mute mode. Okay. Okay, hope my screen is visible. I trust my screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
See, we have section 194R and I think by now everyone recognizes that it would be on benefits and perquisite given to someone, correct? And one needs to deduct a tax or TDS at the rate of 10%. So what exactly it will going to work and what would be the coverage? Let's try to understand 194R. And if you have any question in between, feel free to ask the same. So the overview is, let's say there is company A, which is giving some benefit of perquisite to distributor 1, 2, 3. Currently, they are not withholding the TDS. And it may very well happen that also the distributor 1, 2, and 3, they are not showcasing the same as their income. So we have memorandum explaining the finance bill, and it talks about section 194R. It refers, as per clause 4 of 28 of the Act, the value of any benefit or perquisite, whether convertible into money or not. I would request everyone to please put yourself on a mute mode. I think few mics are on. So it says, as per clause 4 of section 28 of the Act, the value of any benefit or perquisite, whether convertible into money or not, arising from business or exercise of profession, is to be charged as business income in the hand of the recipient of such benefit or perquisite. However, in many cases, such recipient does not report the receipt of benefits in their return of income, leading to furnishing of incorrect particulars of income. Accordingly, in order to widen and deepen the tax base, it is proposed to insert a new section 194R to the Act. So, see, the wordings are very clear that we need to read 194R in tandem with clause 4 of section 28. And if something is not taxable under clause 4 of 28, then it would not fall within the purview of section 194R. So it becomes very important for us to understand what type of incomes will going to fall within the purview of clause 4 of section 28. So let's see the initial wordings of section 194R. It says, any person responsible for providing to a resident any benefit or perquisite, whether convertible into money or not, arising from business or the exercise of profession by such resident. So one can see the language of 194R is exactly, or I will say it's similar to what is written in clause 4 of 28, and it is applicable on any person. So, but the recipient of benefit or perquisite should be resident. So any person includes resident and non-resident, but as far as recipient is concerned, it needs to be resident. Now let's move on to understand, what basically constitutes benefit or perquisites. Because unless something is benefit or perquisite, we are not required to deduct TDS. So this is one of the beautiful judgment I was able to locate of ITAT Ahmedabad in the matter of ACIT versus Rakesh S. Agarwal, wherein, very beautifully this provisions related to clause 4 of section 28 has been explained. And I think we can use this judgment as the basis to understand what falls within the purview of 28.4. So the first bullet is, there must be a nexus between the business of the SSC and the benefit of the SSC derived. So whatever the benefit one is receiving, that must be because of the business or the profession which he is doing. If the benefit received is not because of the business or profession, then it will not fall within the 28.4. And if it is not falling in 28.4, then certainly TDS is not required to be deducted under section 194R. So now I received one question wherein the question was, if we are giving something to employees, whether it will fall under 194R or not. So 28.4 is for the person involved in business and profession And we have section 17 for the perquisite of for in case of employees, when it comes to the perquisite to employees. So if you are giving something to your employees, so in my view, section 194R would not be applicable. If you are giving benefits or perquisites to your employees, it will not fall under 194R. So 194R would be applicable when the recipient of such benefit or or perquisite is involved in some business or profession. So for example, let's say I'm a chartered accountant, I'm working for my client, and client gives me some benefit or perquisite, then 194R would be applicable in my case. But let's say wherein it gives something to its employee. Let's say if I'm a one of my friend is a chartered accountant, he is working as an employee in some company, and he gets some gift from his employer. In that case, being the recipient is not involved in business or profession, and he is the employee, so the TDS would not fall under 194R. Next is, such benefit or perquisite should be in the nature of income from the very beginning, or it must have characteristics of income. So, when we say it should be from the very beginning in the nature of income, it means, that I am doing certain activities, and those activities, because of those activities, some income is accruing to me. And when that income is accruing to me, it is taxable. Now, let's say I am involved in, handling your tax assessment, and you told me, Gaurav, if you will get this order clean, we will going to give you this much amount of fees. And also we have a resort, let's say in Pune, and you will going to get we'll give you 5 nights, 6 days stay free with your family. Now, from the very beginning, this is in the nature of income. Now, if I'm doing certain activities which is leading to the accrual of the benefit or the accrual of a perquisite, then it will fall under 28(4). It may very well happen that you are my good friend, and you said, Gaurav, we have built up a resort. Why don't you go with your family and stay there? We'll give you, let's say 6 nights, 7 days free. Gaurav has got habit of putting everything on a Facebook. He keeps on taking the selfie. So if he will going to stay there for 6 nights, 7 days, he can click at every corner of the resort, and resort will become popular. This was your intent over and above the friendship. Now, when you are giving me this resort, stay in the resort for 6 nights, 7 days. Now it is not my income. It may be a benefit to me, but it is not my income. Why? Because it has not accrued to me. It is a gratuitous act. You have given because of your wish and will to me. You are not liable. You are not liable to give the same to me. So now, when you are giving me any benefit or perquisite of such nature, which is not related to my business income, is not related to my profession, or is not because of my profession or business, it will not fall under 28(4). And if it will not fall under 28(4), it will not, TDS is not required to be deducted under 194R. So going by, what Ahmedabad Tribunal observed, there should be a linkage between the benefit or perquisite which you are giving to someone and the business or profession of that person. It further says the word benefit or perquisite have been used in the said section and have to be read together and would draw color from each other. And what color is talking about? The term perquisite denotes meeting out of an obligation of one person by another person, either directly or indirectly, or provision of some facility or amenity by one person to another person, or from the very beginning, the person providing such facility or concession knows that whatever is being done is irretrievable to him, as it has been granted to a person as a privilege or right of that person. So that is the meaning of perquisite or benefit, that you are giving something to someone and you know that it will not going to come back. If you are giving me stay in a resort and you want money against that benefit or perquisite, then it is not a benefit or perquisite. So law is clear, the wordings are clear, that if you are giving something to someone which is a benefit or perquisite, because of the business or profession carried on by that person, I think then it will going to fall within the purview of 28.4 and not otherwise. We have other judgments also to understand the meaning of benefit or perquisites. Does the word benefit has to be interpreted in the same manner? That is, at the time of execution of the business transaction, one party should give to other party an irretrievable benefit or advantage as an obligation or facility or a concession. For applicability of provision of section 28.4, the receipt should signify income and should be a product of the normal working of the business. It is also noted that both the words benefit or perquisite refer to specific situation wherein generally receipt of revenue nature having attributes of income would be covered, and such attributes should exist from the very beginning. So it is not the matter of other income from other sources. It is not the matter of salary income. It is not the matter of capital gain. It is the matter of, what we are discussing, income which is chargeable to tax under the head business or profession. And if income something which is chargeable to tax under the head income from business or profession, it needs to be some kind of an active income in a business or a profession in which you are involved. You are supplying goods, you are involved in doing some activities, and those activities or your sales or supply actually leading to generation of some income, or because someone expects you to do something in your business or profession, he has given you something which is a benefit or perquisite, then it will fall under 28.4. To illustrate this, where a gift is made in lieu of paying consideration for services obtained and this fact is established, then such amount of gift can fall within the provision of section 28.4 of the Act. So Ahmedabad IIT observed that if gift is in lieu of services, आपने किसी को services दी और आपको gift मिला in lieu of services, then a gift will fall within the provisions of 28.4. And now, being we have 194R, which would be applicable from 1st July, TDS provisions would be applicable on such gift. There is another judgment of Mumbai Tribunal in case of a well-known celebrity, Miss Priyanka Chopra. In this case, Priyanka Chopra, was given a Toyota Price hybrid luxury sedan car for being the brand ambassador of NDTV Toyota Generation campaign. So she argued, that she did this activity for Toyota, but got the gift. So she did the activity for NDTV, but got the gift of Toyota. So accordingly, it should not be taxable. However, the court observed, that it would be treated as income taxable under 28.4. Whereas if you see the another judgment of, again in the matter of celebrity, ACIT versus Shah Rukh Khan, again Mumbai Tribunal. In this case, one of the friend of Mr. Khan, they gave one villa to Mr. Khan in Dubai. And later on, maybe after 3-4 years, Mr. Khan went to the annual day celebration of that company and addressed to the employees of that company. So the revenue argued, that this gift which Shah Rukh Khan received, it should be treated as income under the head 28.4, income from the business profession under section 28.4. The tribunal observed, whatever Mr. Shah Rukh Khan received has nothing to do with the business or profession. He did not perform for that company. He did not provide its services. It was a gratuitous receipt. And if it was a gratuitous receipt, it will not fall under 28.4. And just because he attended the annual day celebration of that company, that too after 4 or 5 years of receipt of that villa, again it strengthened the point that the villa which was given to Mr. Khan was not in relation to the services that Mr. Khan needs to be provided. And going and visiting to a company on the annual day celebration was again not a service, rather because of the love and affection, Mr. Khan went on the annual day celebration of that company. So if we read these three judgments, the the answer that we get or the clarity that we get, if someone receives something, a benefit or a perquisite from another person, it should be against some activity, which one is doing. Gratuitous act मिल गया, आपने ऐसे दे दिया, गौरव मेरा छोटा भाई है, and you have started manufacturing, let's say, shirts, ये गौरव को पहना देते हैं. So it is a gratuitous act, nothing to do with my profession. So we need to be clear that there should be linkage, and that linkage should be clear. Very linkage should be between the business profession of the person, and instead of giving, let's say, money, you are giving some gift or some perquisite or some benefit to that person. Now another matter of David Dhawan, again ITIT Mumbai. So what happened? David Dhawan sahab went to UK and Switzerland with his family to shoot Hero Number 1, Govinda Wali movie. And the department said the expenditure incurred by the producer on the stay and travel of the family of Mr. David Dhawan should be treated as income under 28(4). Because family gayi thi, to benefit David Dhawan sahab ko aa raha tha. This was the argument from the department side. Whereas ITIT observed the place where services were partially rendered were outside India, and it is only for the period that services were so rendered outside India, and during which the assessee was thus temporarily located, that his family's traveling expense were borne by the client. So for a temporary period, when the shooting was going on, at that time, the family of Dhawan sahab went to UK and Switzerland along with David G. So that's why they said it should not be treated as income under 28(4). But I've got a gut feel, it is something very specific to facts. आप मुझे एक दिन के लिए मान लीजिए बुलाते हैं बॉम्बे में for arguing some matter, and if my wife also travels with me, and instead of going to court, she keeps on moving here and there to Gateway of India, keep doing shopping. Now, can I take an argument that I always move with my wife? I think the answer would be no. So it would going to be fact specific. So the thing which you need to understand is it a benefit or is it something essential, to move? I think Priya Bhansali ji asked me a question. Let me just give me a minute. I'm just opening that. Her question was, if our client takes, I'm reading the question, if our client takes me to Spain to meet his collaborators or JV partners and also visit the country, sightseeing, etc., will 194R be attractive? Madam, my first request, why to go alone? I can also serve the client if you also take along with me. Now, coming to the question, that if you are going there for a meeting, it is not, to my mind, 28(4) will not get attracted, because it is an essential thing. You need to go to Switzerland or Spain to meet the joint venture partner. But let's say if you are also doing the sightseeing. Now sightseeing, and if the expenses of those sightseeing are borne by your client, in my humble opinion, that now it is not mandatory that you will going to do the sightseeing of Spain. So sightseeing of Spain has nothing to I will say now it is not the essential element of the services. So visiting Spain would not be taxable under 28(4). But doing sightseeing, so the expenditure incurred by your client on sightseeing, to my mind, will become taxable under 28(4). Now, there's another judgment of ITIT Bangalore, BroCAD Communication. Yes, Shailendra ji, please go ahead. Please unmute yourself and.
So no, I'm Priya here again.
Yeah, ma'am.
No, so this will be taxable in my firm or it'll be taxable in my individual hands? The sightseeing portion.
Yeah. So, see, it is a good question. I think the benefit is received by you. So ideally, it should be taxable in your hand. But if your firm is providing the services and all the bills are raised through firm, I'm not sure, to my mind, the benefit comes to you and not to your firm. So it should be taxable in your hand instead of firm.
Okay. Okay.
See,
thank
whatever
you.
the money you will receive, that will go to a firm and everyone will get benefited from that money. But from the sightseeing, I think it is the individual who is getting the benefited. So to best of my knowledge, and I think probably we may have some clarity once rules are there, but apparently it seems the benefit solely is going to you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Now let me move on. Now in this case, Brokered Communication received capital assets from his holding company free of cost. And this may happen, why I am putting this judgment, that there could be a lot of joint venture, there could be joint venture cases or a partnership cases, wherein let's say partner is providing free services or a joint venture partner is providing some free services to joint venture, or there could be cases wherein, holding subsidiary companies are sharing assets without, giving any cost. Also, I personally feel, let's say there is a common brand of the group and it is used by various companies. There could be server cost, which is borne by one company, but all other group companies in India, are using that server. And there could be certain employees which are common, sitting in one company, but providing services to all the companies. And let's say those activities are not shareholder activities, because when it becomes a shareholder activity, we say that benefit is not going to the recipient. Rather, the benefit is to the shareholders. So if those are not shareholder activities, one can say that the benefit will go to the recipient companies. And if that happens, and I know there are many groups in India you will find wherein such kind of transactions are happening, they're not reporting those benefit under 28(4), and nor the TDS is deducted because currently there is no provision. But if you read this judgment, in this judgment, Bangalore ITAT observed that the free assets received by the company should be treated as addition under section 28(4). One उन्होंने गलती से लगा दिया, it is 28(4). But later on said that this case need no adjudication, because if we will increase the income, and this is a company claiming deduction under section 10A, then because of the Honorable High Court judgment in the case of Impact Technologies, and also because of the CPTT circular number 37 of 2016, this company will get benefited. That is, there would not going to be an addition. So they did not discuss this issue in detail, but yes, the passing reference was made that the entire value of the asset has to be regarded as an addition under section 28(4). If this is so, then imagine the lot of volume of transaction which is happening between the group companies, for which in most of the cases you will find no charges are made, no invoicing is done, and it's absolutely free. So my worry is whether all those activities will fall under 28(4). Apparently the answer is yes. It is because of the business and profession of that company. It is the benefit, and if it is benefit because of business and profession, 28(4) would be applicable. I was reading another one judgment also wherein a property was on the name of a partnership firm, and partner was putting up in that property. It was a rent-free accommodation for the partner. He was not paying any charge, and the court said it would become it is a benefit or perquisite under section 28(4). So if partner is using a property owned by a partnership firm without paying any charges, it is a benefit to the partner. because of the business or profession which that partner is doing. And now it is becoming income under 28(4). And also reading this judgment, I think a lot of free services or this maybe services given at the discount may fall within 28(4). And if it is falling within 28(4), it will attract 194R. Means there is a responsibility to deduct the TDS. But before deducting the TDS, there is a responsibility to value the benefits. So we'll go to 194R. We are just trying to understand what is the meaning of 28(4). And then we have a judgment of the apex court in the matter of Mahindra and Mahindra, wherein the court very clearly mentioned that in order to invoke the provision of section 28(4), the benefit which is received has to be in some other form rather than in the shape of money. So let's stop for a moment. So now the things as far as 28(4) is concerned, I think the point which are clear is, if you are giving benefit or perquisite to someone not in form of money but otherwise, then it may fall under 28(4). Second, when you are giving something to someone not in the form of money but otherwise, and that is not a gratuitous act, and you are giving to someone because of some commitment, some compulsion, or something related to the business or profession of the other person, then I think 28(4) would apply. So other than this, 28(4) is not applicable. So if I'm giving gifts to my employees, it will go to salary and not to business or profession. So 194R or 28(4) is not applicable. In general, if we are gifting, to our staff, to our friends on Diwali, it has nothing to do with the business or profession. It is not arising because of the business or profession to that other person. So it is not taxable. I think point which is very clear is that there is some commitment which I need to honor, and I'm honoring that commitment in kind and not in cash. So when I'm honoring that commitment in kind and not in cash, then to my mind 194R or 194R will get attracted. So let's take few questions in chat box. Himanshu is asking whether section 194R will apply if cash incentive is paid to customers. See, as we discussed, it is not applicable on cash. We have seen the judgment of Mahindra and Mahindra, the apex court, that it would be applicable if it is not in cash. Contractual employee is 194R applicable. See, to contractual employee, Rahul, my question is, are you deducting their TDS under 192 or some other section? If you are deducting their TDS under 192, I think then it is a clear case that salary, what you are paying to them is salary and they are your employees. But if you are not deducting their TDS under 192 and some other section, let's say 194J, then the income which is accruing to them will, it will go to 28(4). And if it will go to 28(4), then I think, not 28(4), if the income which you are giving them falls under business or profession, then if you are giving them some gift or benefit, it will fall under 194R. Hope I'm clear, Rahul.
Gaurav, it's under 194C, contractual.
So 194C mein de rahe, then also it is not 192. So 194C may, when we are giving something to them, see, they would be filling their business and profession wala head, income under the head business and profession. So means
employer-employee relationship will not be there.
correct. If employer-employee relationship is not there, and if I'm giving them any gift or benefit, perquisite or benefit or perquisite because of some contractual arrangement, then it will be taxable. Your TDS needs to be deducted under 194R.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks.
Okay, so let me see a few more questions which I can take. Jyoti Jain is asking if we are giving cash back to our customers on achieving certain level of turnover. See, on cash, Jyoti, it is not applicable. It needs to be in kind and not in cash. In case of Shah Rukh Khan, the same will be treated as gift under section 56 or not. Oh, this question is out of course for me. Amit Sharma, various representations were filed before CBDT to provide clarity on transaction which will be excluded from the purview of 194R. What is the update on those representations? No communication from CBDT till now on this. Next is also like 194.206C, whether the clarification will be issued by CBDT before finance bill get present assent or before the section gets, should be. What about trade discounts, volume rebates, etc. provided by companies to the distributor? See, in such a case, it would not go to 28.4. Reason is, if you are giving trade discounts to distributor, so their purchase cost will be low in the P&L. So whenever they will making a sales, that income will get captured as a difference between the sales and the acquisition or a purchase cost. So somewhere, if you see, the objective of 28.4 is income which is not otherwise getting covered. So to best of my mind, if you are giving trade discounts or a volume rebates to the distributor, whatever the amount you will pay back, it would be in cash. So it is not covered. Also, if let's say, if you say a quantity discount, if I say, then it will get reflected in the acquisition cost of customer, and eventually he would be paying the tax. So to my mind, it will not get covered under 28.4. Switch on the video. Okay, sorry. Puneet Jindal is asking, section 194R does not bear any reference to section 28.4. Should 28.4 be linked to 194R, or should there be any clarification for the same? Puneet, see, very clearly 194R, first of all, memorandum explaining the finance bill very clearly talks about 28.4. Now, when you read 194R also, it do refers, business and profession. So let me share the presentation. Puneet, just see, it says any person responsible for providing to a resident any benefit or perquisite, whether convertible into money or not, arising from business or the exercise of a profession by such resident. So it clearly says that, it should arise from business or profession carried on by that resident. And it says benefit or perquisite should arise. So means 194R clearly talks about that there should be a direct linkage between the benefit and perquisite and the business or the profession of such resident. So now let's see, where is the chat? I think, Puneet, I'm clear.
Yes, Gaurav, thank you.
Now there is another question of Himanshu. 194R also refer partially in cash and partially in kind. So whether cash payment partially or wholly will attract this section. See, if cash payment wholly will not attract this section, we have a judgment of the apex court in the matter of Mahindra and Mahindra. Partial cash payment, see, if you are giving someone cash, then to best of my mind, it will be treated as normal income. But if you are giving them the gift along with the cash, and that gift or cash is because of the business profession, so for a cash, he needs to raise an invoice. But for a gift, people generally do not raise an invoice. So gift is generally a one-sided transaction. But that gift is arising because of the business or profession. And if something is arising because of the business or profession, it should be brought to tax. So this 194R is basically capturing those transactions only. Okay, guys, now let me move forward. Says any person responsible for providing to a resident any benefit or perquisite, whether convertible into money or not, arising from business or the exercise of a profession by such resident shall. So now till here, if I read, it says any person. So to best of my mind, as there is no clarity, and also in the later part of the paragraph, it do mention the resident, but in starting, it does not mention resident, it only says any person. So now this provision of 194R is equally applicable on non-resident also. Now, if non-resident is giving some benefit to a resident or perquisite to a resident, because of the business or profession, I think then 194R would be applicable, and it becomes the responsibility of the non-resident to deduct a TDS. Certainly, on a resident, it is applicable. If resident is the payer, then it would be applicable. What it says, before providing such benefit or perquisite as the case may be, to such resident, ensure that tax has been deducted in respect of such benefit or perquisite at the rate of 10% of the value or aggregate value of such benefit or perquisite. Now, the worry point is how you will going to value such benefits. So there could be, a few instances. For example, let's say, should I treat your cost of acquisition as the benefit? If you have acquired, if you are giving, let's say, a foreign tour to your distributors, and it has costed you, let's say, rupees 1 lakh per person. So should this 1 lakh be considered as benefit in the hands of the recipient? Or let's say the cost, otherwise, in general, the cost of such travel is, let's say, 1,20,000 per person, because you have booked in a volume. Instead of 120, it costed only you 1 lakh. So what should be the value of benefit? It should be 1 lakh or it should be 1,20,000. I think here we need clarity from the CBDT that what should be considered as the value, because the wording is value and wording is not the cost. And value needs to be seen from the perspective of recipient. So the question comes, if recipient has gone into the market, at what value he would have bought this package, 1 lakh or 1,20,000. So I feel it would going to be a lot of litigation area. So we need clarification from CBDT that what should be the value. Another case could be, let's say you have some facility and you are allowing your subsidiary to use that facility without any cost. Now, if that subsidiary is using the facility without any cost, question comes whether it will fall under 194R or not, means whether it will go to 28(4) or not first. So let me take view of the house. What you all are, many of you are, I will say, senior to me. What is your view? that if, let's say, a holding company in India, they have got subsidiaries, and subsidiary is operating from the premises of holding company, and subsidiary is not incurring any expenditure, or subsidiary is not giving any expenditure rent to the holding company, should this non-payment of rent by a subsidiary company to the holding company for usage of a facility should be treated as income under section 28(4)? What is the view of the house? I think you can all use chat box, or you can raise your hand to share your view. Any view? Himanshu is saying yes, it is a benefit. What is the view of other friends who are there? Whether it should be treated as benefit, and if it is benefit, then it needs to be taxed. Will it not be covered under domestic TP? No, Rahul, it will not be covered under domestic TP. That's why I'm finding another way to put TP in this. See, domestic, again, this question is out of the course, means, this is not the discussion topic, is not for today, but domestic TP would not be applicable in most of the cases. So question is whether it is a benefit or not, and if the answer is it is benefit, whether it is the benefit under section 28(4) or not. Sandeep is saying suppose company is giving performance-based benefit to its distributor. Sandeep ji will come to this question. What is the view of the house on when a holding company gives some asset, tangible or intangible, allows subsidiary to use assets, whether tangible or intangible, without any cost, whether it is benefit or not, and if it is benefit, whether it is falling under 28(4) or not. And if these two are ticked, then certainly it will get, TDS is attracted under 194R. It may very well happen that there are employees, there are common employees, there is a common accounting team, the costing is borne by the head office, but that accounting team is involved in tax compliance, tax assessment of subsidiary companies also, and there is no cross charge. So what is the view of the house? Atul ji, I can see that you want to say something. Atul Puri ji. So I personally feel, it is clearly the benefit. And it is because of the business or profession. So you're not allowing everyone to use your facility. You have allowed your subsidiary to use the facility. So to my mind, until unless there is a clarity, if I take a conservative view, there are high chances that, this transaction should fall under 28(4). And if it is falling under 28(4), TDS will get attracted. If anyone has any other view, I would be happy to listen. Tricky will impact many holding subsidiary relationship. Yes, how it's tricky, and I agree it's tricky. So until as we have clarity from the government, from the CBDT, it will going to create issues. It seems as I am not getting any other view, most of you are in consensus with me on this point. So now let me move forward. Let me take a question of interest-free loan given to subsidiary may also be questioned. Yes, Puneet, it is a benefit. So whether it is a capital transaction or a revenue transaction, that is something we need to see. Interest loan is a capital transaction, but interest is a revenue transaction. So I think again it is a tricky question, not a clear answer. There are high chances that it may fall under 28(4). So why you are giving an interest-free loan? So you are allowing someone to use your capital without any charge. So if it is not a shareholder activity, I said in a group, we need to watch out whether it is a shareholder activity or not. And if somebody can prove that it is a shareholder activity, then the benefit which I'm, passing on to another person is actually for me and not for him, then I am the benefit receiver. It is the me who is getting the benefit and not my subsidiary company. So it may not fall under 28.4. But if that is not the case, if the benefit is accruing to subsidiary company, and that accrual of benefit is because of the business or profession, I think then 28.4 will get attracted. Deepak ji, you want to say something? Deepak Jain ji, please unmute yourself. Deepak Jain ji.
Sir, actually in section it is written in the course of business or profession. If holding company is giving anything to their subsidiary company which is not due to business or profession, due to shareholding relationship, whether it will cover under section 194R or not. Because in section it is written in the course of business or profession.
In the course of business or profession of the recipient. Recipient का business or profession देखना है कि it is because of the business or profession of the recipient or not.
सर 194R लगाएंगे एक बार फिर से जो आपने स्क्रीन पे लगाया था.
Any benefit or perquisite, whether convertible into money or not, arising from business or the exercise of profession by such resident.
Yes.
By such resident means the recipient. It is any person responsible for providing to a resident. So यहाँ से resident को करिए. It is talking about benefit or it is talking about business or the profession by the recipient.
सर यहाँ पे मेरा मतलब ये है कि if that assets or benefits the recipient received due to his business relationship, then it will cover. If this is not due to business relationship between recipient and any person, then it will not be covered.
Sir, मैं कह रहा हूँ, if it is a shareholder activity, then certainly it is not. It is covered. I said related to this point. Another thing which we need to prove that is the gratuitous payment. So corporate में gratuitous payment prove करना from one corporate to another corporate is not going to be an easy task. That's what I'm saying. It will create issues.
Okay.
So I will request everyone to please Deepak ji mute पे कर ले अपने आप को. So now let me proceed. Now this para apparently to my mind, I think there is some drafting error or what they want to say is not clear. It says provided that in a case where the benefit or perquisite as the case may be is wholly in kind or partially in cash and partially in kind, but such part in cash is not sufficient to meet the liability of deduction of tax in respect of whole of such benefit or perquisite, the person responsible for providing such benefit or perquisite shall, before releasing the benefit or perquisite, ensure that tax has been paid in respect of the benefit or perquisite. Now, if you go to para 1, they have not mentioned 1, 2, 3 in the para, but if you go to para 1, in para 1, they are talking about the deduction of tax. That tax has been deducted. But when you move on to para 2, it says that the tax has been paid. Now, to whom tax has been paid? To the provider of benefit or perquisite, means let's say if I am giving a tour of Switzerland to my distributor. Let's say the value is 10 lakh. So should I collect 10,000 as a tax from the recipient, from my distributor, or should I deposit 10,000 to the government account? So in my view, basically, if I relate this to a cash So they are saying if you have cash, then deduct something from the cash, the amount equivalent to the TDS, deduct it from the cash and give it to the recipient. But if you are giving everything in kind, then I still need to deduct the TDS. So from where I will deduct? So I will collect the equivalent amount from the recipient. But practically, I think it will going to be a gross up issue wherein we needs to do a gross up and we need to deduct. We will be showing that amount as a TDS deducted. It further says, provided further that the provision of this section shall not apply in case of resident where the value or aggregate value of such a benefit or perquisite provided or likely to be provided to such resident during the financial year does not exceed 20,000 rupees. So if your benefit or perquisite is less than 20,000, then I think nothing to worry. But if it is more than 20,000, then apparently it is on the entire amount and not on the amount over and above 20,000. Because it says provided further provision of the section shall not apply in case where the value or aggregate value of the benefit or perquisite provided or likely to be provided to such resident during the financial year does not exceed 20,000. So if the value of benefits or perquisite is over and above 20,000, then I think the provision would be applicable on the entire amount. But if it is 20,000 or less, in such a case, 194R will not get attracted. Provided also that the provision of the section shall not apply to person being an individual or HUF, Hindu undivided family, whose total sales, gross receipt or turnover does not exceed 1 crore rupees in case of business and 50 lakh in case of profession. During the financial year immediately preceding the financial year in which such benefit or perquisite as the case may be is provided by such person. So for financial year 22-23, what needs to be seen is the turnover for financial year 21-22. The last point is, for the purpose of this section, the expression person responsible for providing means the person providing such benefit or perquisite, or in case of company, the company itself, including the principal officer thereof. This is important because I have one question which we need to discuss. But before that, let me go to a chat. Puneet asked, Puneet, we have discussed your question. Now, there's a question from Bhushanji. Bhushanji. Question is, hi, under the ESOP plan, share given by a company to employee in place of salary or other perquisite, will it? Bhushan, we discussed earlier that, you know, if you are making a payment or benefit to the employee, then it will get covered under 192. It is not a matter of 194R. So under 194R, a benefit or perquisite given to a person who is involved in business or profession will get covered and not any other payment. Yes, Sariya ji, please unmute yourself and feel free to ask your question.
क्वेश्चन नहीं है, मैं तो जो अपडेट कर रहा था उसी में जो आपने कहा ना, ये ग्रोस अप करना पड़ेगा अपने को यदि काइंड में देते हैं तो। यदि बेनिफिट्स काइंड्स में है और टीडीएस आप डिडक्ट कर नहीं पाओगे उस काइंड में से, तो देन वी हैव टू पे द टैक्स एंड दैट इज टू बी ग्रोस्ड अप। तो ग्रोस अप तब करेंगे जबकि सामने वाले से रिकवर नहीं कर पाएंगे आप। करेक्ट। हम उसको 10,000 रुपये टीडीएस काट लिया तो हम 10,000 यदि अपने पास से जमा करा देते हैं और बाद में रिकवर करते हैं तो मेरे विचार से ग्रोस अप की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी।
हाँ सर, अगर हम बाद में रिकवर करते हैं तो रिकवरी का प्रोविजन होना चाहिए। अगर हम रिकवर कर लेते हैं तो कोई इशू, तो आपने बेनिफिट ही प्रोवाइड करा उसको, क्योंकि
वो तो टीडीएस का बेनिफिट तो उसको मिल ही रहा है।
बस अगर हम उससे रिकवर कर लेते हैं तो कोई इशू नहीं आएगा।
हाँ, वो तो फर्दर टाइमिंग प्रैक्टिकली तो ये मान के चलेंगे रिकवर कर लेंगे। बाद में नहीं होता है वो सेकेंडरी इशू है। ठीक है, थैंक यू।
अब लेट मी टेक फ्यू क्वेश्चंस, you know, which I received from RK Ghai Saab. If a person, say mutual fund or insurance companies provide domestic or foreign trips or any other gift to employees of recipient of service, TDS will be deducted in whose hands? Employees or recipient of service. Ghai sab, are you there? Are you attending the session? Okay, see how, see my view on this question is, let me explain the question first. He is asking, if let's say there is a bigger insurance company or a mutual fund company, and there is a smaller mutual fund company or a distributor, and then distributor has got employees. So eventually the travel package or a tour package has been given to employees. So TDS needs to be deducted in whose hand? In the hands of the employees or in the hands of the distributor company. I think we discussed this matter in the earlier also, and my view is because the benefit is received by the individual, so TDS should be deducted in the hand of the individual. Amount of benefit provided to counter salesmen, whether it is covered or not, as it is not taxable as business. Sir, counter salesman, if he, so if he is your salaried employee, then 192 would be applicable and not 194R. So now we have another question from Priya. She is asking, on the basis of outstanding performance, our employees wins President Club Award, in which SSI, in which the company takes employees to a foreign trip. Priya, as discussed earlier, it is not applicable on payments made or benefit given to employees. It is primarily applicable when benefits or perquisites are given to someone who is involved in business or profession. If CSM is a salaried employee of distributor, Deepakji, this is something which I'm thinking, so if I'm giving directly to employees of a distributor, whether it should go to 28.4 or not. So for employee, it is not business or profession. I think for a distributor, it is a business or profession. And employee, we can take that the privity of contract between employee and there is a, as far as employee-employer relationship is considered, related, it is between the employee and the distributor. But whereas I am under the obligation because of my arrangement with the distributor. So now if I'm giving something to distributor in kind for its employees, if it is in cash, then certainly 194R will not get attracted. If I'm giving gifts, let's say to the distributor, which distributor will pass on to the employees. I think it's a tricky question, but I would like to apply 194R to it because it is a revenue transaction. And it should be applied, until there is a clarity, there is no point in leaving 194R. Hope I am clear, Deepak ji. If Deepak ji, payment अगर आप cash में कर रहे हैं तो वैसे ही नहीं लगेगा. There is 194R is not applicable when you are making payment in cash.
सर ये थोड़ा ही लिखा है उसमें कि कैश में नहीं होगा, वहां पे तो कैश और काइंड दोनों लिखा है ना आपके 194R में.
नहीं, we have a महिंद्रा एंड महिंद्रा की जजमेंट है सर, वहां पे इसको क्लियरली ये कह दिया कि if benefit or perquisite needs to be in cash, it needs to be in kind and not in cash. आप उस जजमेंट का बेनिफिट ले सकते हैं.
नहीं, वो तो बेनिफिट सर इस सेक्शन से पहले का है ना जजमेंट. आज ये सेक्शन तो अभी आया है.
दोनों में सेम है. जब तक इसकी लेके क्लैरिटी ना आ जाए कि भाई कैश पेमेंट भी कवर्ड है, तब तक आई थिंक वी कैन टेक द बेनिफिट ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट. because memorandum explaining the finance bill clearly correlate 194R with 28.4 and the judgment is in with regard to 28.4. तो 28.4 में उन्होंने हटा दिया। अब मान लीजिए हम ये कहते हैं आप एम्प्लॉइज को जो दे रहे हैं वो गिफ्ट दे रहे हैं और वो एम्प्लॉइज की इनकम नहीं बनती अंडर द हेड बिजनेस और प्रोफेशन, अदर इनकम बनती है, तो 194R नहीं लगेगा। Am I clear, Deepak ji?
Clear.
Whether cost to cost reimbursement between holding and Indian subsidiaries may also be questioned if there is a time lag between the. Puneet, I think ye time lag, I think these are all debatable issues. These are all debatable issues, you know, what would constitute a benefit, whether a time lag would going to constitute a benefit or not. Apparently, yes, but whether that benefit is arising because of the business or profession, I think all these things need a more discussion, more deliberation. But yes, it cannot be simply put aside. Time lag कर सकता है fall. But whether it is a, you know, is time lag an income? Matlab, if you are involved in some business or profession, whether somebody, matlab, how you will correlate time lag, you know, with the business or profession. So let's say if subsidiary is giving you some services and then as a revenue to them, you allow them a time lag. Possibly in that case, one may say there is a correlation between time lag and the, you know, services or the business of the SSE. So at the end of the day, I feel we need to check whether this will fall under 28.4 or not. It is a benefit, but whether this benefit is in relation to the business or profession or not is something which we need to analyze. And the wording is arise, so there should be direct correlation. So answer is a tough question, I will say, but based on the limited facts, it is a benefit, but may not fall under 28.4. I think I'm done with my presentation. If you know, if anyone has any question or any feedback or any point to make, he or she is most invited to speak. Should we? Okay, guys, thanks everyone for joining in today's discussion. I trust you hope you liked the discussion. Hope I'm able to give you some clarity on 194R or maybe more confusion on 194R. But I think this is the section which we all need to watch, and specifically the linkage between 194R and 28.4 is very much clear. So do not go by simply whether it is a benefit or not. I think whether that benefit will fall under the bracket 28.4 or not is most important. So thanks everyone. The video would be available on my YouTube channel. You can search Gaurav Garg, the Knowledge Cast on YouTube, and you will find this discussion. I would be sharing the link to the discussion on the WhatsApp group. So from there also, you can watch the session. Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining.